Desmond Ridder. Wow, did he throw away the game for the Falcons or what, man? Just incredible to see, particularly if you were rooting against the Falcons yesterday. This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Desmond Ridder costing the Falcons a golden opportunity to keep pace in the NFC South division. The Falcons lost to the worst team in the NFL yesterday as Desmond Ridder threw a costly interception while his team was up 7-6 in the fourth quarter. Turnovers have been a constant theme for Desmond Ridder all season long, and it has now cost the Falcons a chance to win the NFC South division. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So here it is. Should the Falcons bench Desmond Ridder permanently? Obviously, the Atlanta Falcons have to get rid of Desmond Ridder at all costs. Desmond Ridder cannot be an NFL starter anymore. Desmond Ridder cannot be starting games for the Atlanta Falcons if they are serious about winning. I can't believe that Desmond Ridder was even an NFL starter to begin with. Desmond Ridder is one of the worst quarterbacks that I have ever seen touch an NFL field. Holy cow, does Desmond Ridder even know what he's seeing on the football field? This guy plays like he has no clue what an NFL defense is, and he does not know how to read defenses whatsoever. When he throws the football, it is clear that he is guessing what is going on the football field. He has no clue how to anticipate what defenders are doing. Desmond Ridder is just playing the game to play the game. When quarterbacks play on the football field, they diagnose defenses, they make reads in the progression, and they try to find the open receiver. Not Desmond Ridder. Does Desmond Ridder have great athleticism to the point where he can overcome that? Nope, he doesn't have that either. Desmond Ridder, when he plays the position, he just plays it so he can play it. Desmond Ridder has no clue what he's doing, and he is a turnover machine. And I don't mind guys that are turnover machines, but if you're going to be a turnover machine, you better know what the heck you're doing. And Desmond Ridder has no clue what he is doing. Desmond Ridder is throwing the ball just to throw. He is just throwing the football blindly. This guy is looking like he went to the Jameis Winston school where he would just throw jump balls. But the thing with Jameis Winston is he actually has a can for an arm. Desmond Ridder doesn't have a can for an arm. When you look at Desmond Ridder play, he doesn't really have anything that stands out in a positive way. I understand that Desmond Ridder was a former third-round pick and that he was a really good quarterback at Cincinnati back when he was in college. But when you want to talk about college football in the NFL, those are two completely different sports. When you talk about Desmond Ridder at the NFL level, this is a guy that has no clue how to process NFL defenses whatsoever. And don't tell me that Desmond Ridder doesn't have a good team around him, because he has a trio of running backs where you could say, wow, they're really good. They got Bijan Robinson, they got Cordell Patterson, they got Tyler Algier. That's a pretty good stable of running backs to work with. And when you look at the receiving game, they got Drake London, they got Kyle Pitts, they got Jonnu Smith. I'm not going to say his weapons are the best in the world, but they're good enough in the passing game. When you talk about what the Atlanta Falcons have, you have to think, okay, a competent quarterback can come in there and throw 20 touchdowns for them. How hard could that be? The answer, it's very hard for Desmond Ridder to do so. I know some people were saying to me, oh, why couldn't you just say that Desmond Ridder is a game manager? But it's hard to call you a game manager when you're turning over the football more than you're scoring touchdowns. Desmond Ridder has no clue how to protect the football whatsoever. And we talk about quarterbacks trying to win the game and how we don't have enough of those. Well, with this quarterback, he doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to not trying to lose the game for his team. This guy gives away football games. The Carolina Panthers were selling tickets for 45 cents yesterday, and Desmond Ridder lost to a 1-12 team that essentially had nothing to play for, and they were absolutely horrible. The fans were dreadful. The quarterback didn't even play good for the Panthers. Bryce Young, he was struggling for most of the game, although he did play better than Desmond Ridder, but that's not really saying a whole lot. Desmond Ridder struggled to complete more than 60% of his passes yesterday, and he only threw for 152 yards. And not only that, he threw the costly interception for the Atlanta Falcons, and that's been the theme for Desmond Ridder all season long. It's clear that the Atlanta Falcons have a Desmond Ridder problem. There are 3 different games where Desmond Ridder single-handedly cost the Atlanta Falcons a victory. Those were the games against the Commanders where he threw 3 costly interceptions against one of the worst secondaries in the league. He ended up throwing the interception against the Buccaneers that leads to a touchdown. They end up losing the game by 4 points. That's a game they can't lose against an important divisional opponent. And then they play against the Carolina Panthers where Desmond Ridder throws a costly interception. If Desmond Ridder just learns how to not turn over the football, the Atlanta Falcons would have 9 wins right now, and we wouldn't even be having this discussion. So yes, when it comes to the topic whether the Falcons should bench Desmond Ridder or not, absolutely. They need to get rid of this guy at all costs. They need to start Taylor Heinicke the rest of the year. Matter of fact, they should have started Taylor Heinicke all season long. Taylor Heinicke is clearly better than Desmond Ridder. Look, am I saying that Taylor Heinicke is a perfect quarterback? No. Am I saying that Taylor Heinicke is even a good quarterback? Nope. But what I am saying about Taylor Heinicke is that he is at least a top 25 quarterback in the National Football League. I can't say that for Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder might legitimately be the worst quarterback in the National Football League, and if he isn't, well, he's in the bottom 5 5 for worst quarterback in the National Football League, because this guy has thrown 10 interceptions in just 12 games that he has started in. He's technically played in 13. The thing with Desmond Ridder is that he already has 16 combined turnovers. When you add up the interceptions and fumbles, he's already thrown for 10 picks. He's already fumbled the ball 6 times, and Desmond Ridder has been a liability for the Atlanta Falcons all season long. He has essentially been carried by the running game of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, am I going to sit up here and say that he has a good head coach in Arthur Smith? No, I'm not going to go ahead and say that, because I don't believe in Arthur Smith either. This guy doesn't know how to get Bijan Robinson the football. They draft Bijan Robinson in the top 8. That means you think that a running back is going to be used a lot, because running backs are the most disposable position in all of football. And if you take a running back that high, you better be using him a lot. But Arthur Smith hasn't used him a lot, because this guy, for some odd reason, wants to use Tyler Algier all the time. I get that Tyler Algier is a good running back, and I think that he is an RB1 on most teams. Heck, I think that if he went to the Carolina Panthers, he would be an RB1. The problem is Bijan Robinson is way better than Tyler Algier, and Arthur Smith doesn't even realize it. That's the embarrassing thing. There are so many ways that they could use Bijan Robinson in the offense. They could use him to throw the football to. They could use Bijan Robinson in between the tackles. They could use Bijan Robinson on outside runs. When you talk about Bijan Robinson, he is a special talent, and he is one of the best running backs in the game of football when you actually get him the football. The problem with Arthur Smith is he doesn't actually realize that, and so he just ends up using Bijan Robinson as a decoy. And for the fantasy owners that drafted Bijan Robinson in fantasy football, I feel sorry for all of y'all, because you guys absolutely made the right pick. The problem was Bijan Robinson is not being used correctly on the Atlanta Falcons. You want to talk about the receiving game, they don't use Kyle Pitts in the receiving game enough too. Now, is that more of a Desmond Ridder problem, or is that an Arthur Smith problem? I don't know, and I don't really care to know. What I care to know is, why is Desmond Ridder so bad at the NFL level? And the answer to that question is, he just doesn't know what he's doing. For reference of what he is doing, I want to show you guys this interception that Desmond Ridder threw against the Carolina Panthers yesterday. It clearly shows you that Desmond Ridder has no clue what he's doing. Roll the film.
The guys up and down the line of scrimmage.
Here comes Ridder. He was just able to get away from the pressure, but he throws a pick. Taken away by Xavier Woods. And the turnover bug comes to bite Desmond Ridder and the Falcons at the worst possible time.
That clip right there shows everything that is wrong with Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder is rolling to his left. It's pretty clear that he should either A, throw the ball away, or B, just tuck the ball and run, or C, if you really want to gunsling the football, throw the ball to Drake London, because there was an open receiver on that play and Desmond Ridder does not see him whatsoever. Either way, Desmond Ridder chose the wrong option. He decided to throw the ball in triple coverage to Cordero Patterson, where Xavier Woods was right there in the play to catch the interception. And when he threw that interception, I was thinking, oh my goodness, the Carolina Panthers are actually going to win a game in 2023. I know that they already won a game earlier this year, but wins for the Carolina Panthers have been scarce in recent memory. And for Desmond Ridder to choke like that against the worst team in football, that is absolutely an embarrassment for the Atlanta Falcons. When you want to talk about the Atlanta Falcons this year, they've underachieved all season long. This was a team that I believe could win the NFC South before the season started, because I looked at their talent and I thought, okay, I don't like their quarterback, but I like the running game, I like the receivers, I like their tight end, their defense is actually pretty good, and the Atlanta Falcons have not gotten anything done at the quarterback position. You can blame the head coach all you want, but that is not the head coach's fault for throwing the ball in triple coverage. That is the quarterback's fault for not knowing how to make a basic read that high school quarterbacks could have made. Tickets for the Falcons-Panthers game were going as low as 45 cents, and that is exactly why, because that game was filled with garbage all over the place. Both quarterbacks were horrible, but at least for Bryce Young's case, you could say he doesn't have great receivers on his team. That's not a good excuse for Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder has the running game. Desmond Ridder has the receivers. Desmond Ridder has the tight ends. Desmond Ridder has a good defense with him. All Desmond Ridder has to do is make basic decisions that don't cost the team the game, and he can't even do that, which in my mind should tell me they need to start Taylor Heinicke the rest of the year. Had they started Taylor Heinicke this year, the Atlanta Falcons would have easily won the NFC South division. I understand that he wasn't great for them earlier this year, but they weren't losing those games earlier on in the season because of Taylor Heinicke. They lost that game against the Minnesota Vikings because Josh Dobbs played out of his mind. That's the reality of the situation. Taylor Heinicke was not the reason why the Atlanta Falcons lost those games earlier on. Had they played Taylor Heinicke the entire season, the Atlanta Falcons would have easily won the division, but they would have won at least 9 games this year. It's clear Desmond Ridder is the reason why the Atlanta Falcons have underachieved, and as a result of that, he's got to get benched on a permanent basis. They need to go ahead and name Taylor Heinicke the star. But hey, their chances of winning the NFC South still isn't over. They got to win at least 2 out of the final 3 games in my mind in order to stand a chance of winning this division. division, and I think they could do it because I'm looking at their schedule. They play the Colts, they play the Bears, they play the Saints to finish out the year. They could definitely win 2 out of those 3 games, but if they want to do that, they need to make a quarterback switch. The team needs to make a switch to Taylor Heinicke at the quarterback position because they cannot afford to have Desmond Ridder throw away another game like he did against the Carolina Panthers, because if they do, then that's going to be a huge problem for the Atlanta Falcons. It's very clear that the Atlanta Falcons have a Desmond Ridder problem, and by getting rid of that problem, that means benching him and then getting rid of him after this year. If you're the Atlanta Falcons, you need to think about taking a quarterback in the 2024 NFL draft. If you don't want to go the draft option, well, you need to sign a quarterback in free agency that is a starting caliber quarterback, because Desmond Ridder is not an NFL caliber quarterback. That much is clear to me. When I watched Desmond Ridder play, it was clear that he was the Panthers MVP yesterday because he gave the Panthers the game. The Atlanta Falcons lost that game, not because the Panthers played good, but because Desmond Ridder was that bad at the quarterback position for the Atlanta Falcons. So that is why the Falcons need to absolutely bench Desmond Ridder on a permanent basis, as he has been a major problem all season long for the Falcons. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinNasTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNasTran and Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNasTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.